Just a couple of housekeeping things first. We'll do our best in these webinars to put you guys in a position to sell more units, fill your calendar more often, win more business. We don't always get everything right. I don't always say everything perfect. We do trust that, this is on like a need to know, secret time kind of basis. And that, if I step in it, you guys won't hold me to the fire too much. But I don't plan on stepping in it. I plan on having a good time. We'll start off with a little bit about Ring the brand, because if you've heard one of my trainings before, you know that I don't like to just talk about the devices. I want to talk about why people are going to call you asking for the devices, why they're going to call you asking if the Ring app is good enough for my needs, or the objection handling of can I just use something like Ring and being able to spin that into one, a good solution, and two, a profitable solution. So a couple things. 50 plus products for home security. If you're thinking 50 products, don't you guys just do doorbells and cameras? Yeah, but we have like 8 doorbells, 7 cameras or 9 cameras now. We have 2 different alarm packages. We have probably 2 dozen lighting SKUs. We do tons of sensors for the alarm, even hardwire kits and a lot of stuff that we're going to get into today. Ring helps about 1,600 people get found every year, whether it's seeing when they left or seeing somebody else or catching them on the way by. The neighbors community is big, it's tight knit, helps a lot of lost pets. As you can see, 100,000 lost pets resolved. Um, that's simply from just going on and saying, my dog's lost and I don't know you guys, but please come and help. And being able to create that spontaneous community even in places where you may not know your neighbors well enough to knock on their door and say, will you help me look for my dog? And 3.6 billion ring moments each month. Wild. So many, a lot of cool stuff there. We do think that in the next 12 months, smart home technology is expected to double to 50 million households. The
Hey
long-standing I
Tommy,
won't
I'm
have.
sorry. If you're meaning to share your slideshow, you're not.
Oh, yeah, I thought I was. There we go.
There you go.
All right. We do expect that the long holdouts of I'm not putting that thing in my house, that seems to be waning. Like my dad has Alexa now. He asked her to set timers for the grill and all kinds of stuff, and he was as against it as people get. But when he wants to hear a song, when he wants to turn on the lights out back, all of a sudden he's Tony Stark. Smart home features have been shown to increase properties and home sales. I include that because what's going on with us in the builder channel and even in the residential resale market is that we're seeing builders and real estate agents come to us and say, I need to level up my gift giving. I need a way to set my listings apart so that I can win more listings. And being able to say, how about a temporary security and alarm system with some smart features that help you sell the house and keep it safe? How about a closing gift that's a smart home package installed by a professional instead of a knife or a bottle of wine that's not going to generate any referrals, but sending over a professional with a doorbell or a floodlight to install it as the gift goes a long way. Plus, it gives us the ability to go ahead and sell all of the other things that we have going. Um, this is more about people moving into homes, right? So it seems like it's more of like a home buyer thing, but 76% of people who move into a home expect to be able to like plug in their router, have a cable jack, have plugs in each room, be able to simplify the Wi-Fi adding, right? It used to be the first thing that comes in the house is the stereo and the TV. Not so much anymore. Now it's usually the router, so that the kids can get on their iPads. We can stop using our data, whatever the case may be. And more millennials than ever, the people most comfortable with technology are moving into these homes, which I think is very good. Some Ring highlights: 17% household penetration. We're the most popular in the US. Um, we have the highest brand awareness, which was always important for me, right? I sold, automation systems, a lot of universal remote programmings and things like that, and being able to have those solutions. And then when the customer hits me with, at the time, was an objection of, can I just use Ring? Well, Ring is an important part, an ingredient that I will add into these solutions. But the short answer is yes. The long answer is yes, kind of. But we also have the highest usage share and the most loyal customers. So when you do meet a customer with Ring, sometimes we want to go, you know what you should really do? And we're asking them to like change their whole infrastructure. It's like walking up to someone with an Xbox shirt on and telling them why PlayStation's better. Sometimes it's better to just give them the thing they're comfortable with because they're comfortable with it, and teach them about that transition. But going in and saying, you've made horrible mistakes for the last 10 years and you should really shift the manufacturer that you've chosen, that's going to be a lot. So if you walk in, if they're heavy with Ring, if they don't have Ring, great. We're going to figure out today how to add more Ring when they have it, how to pivot to Ring when it makes sense, and how to know when Ring isn't the right solution because we're not for every problem. Um, we do have the four categories, which I mentioned before: video doorbells, security cams, smart lighting, and alarm. I do trust that you guys in your local municipalities know which ones you're capable of. Can you hardwire? Do you need an electrician on staff? Can you point to a window and tell them where the alarm sensor goes? Are you allowed to install that alarm sensor? I will say that the Alarm Pro base station, because it serves so many functions, you don't need an alarm license unless you're tying an alarm accessory to it. For instance, if I wanted to hook up the Alarm Pro as the Z-Wave hub and the backup router as an access point, maybe even in bridge mode, just sitting in the spare bedroom, that doesn't require an alarm license, even though the word alarm appears in the name. You're not using it as such, so it doesn't cross that line. You're using it as a router, a battery backup, an LTE backup source, all of those different things. Before we get into the product, there's been some meaningful changes to the Ring app, and almost secret time, there are more changes to the Ring app coming, and they're for you. Take that how you will. I'm not going to say anything else, but if you're thinking, wow, that was a really specific call out, and it really did feel like something exciting is coming. Well, I can't help you from feeling that way. The Ring app is 4.8 stars in just about every single place that you can download it. There are some new features within it. It is much faster recently, so you can reset up your tiles. You can go big tiles, small tiles. The load time for the live view is a lot faster, including even on your phone right now. If you have an iPhone or an Android, you can set up these widgets where instead of having to open the Ring app to the notification and then watch part of the notification and then click live and wait for it to load live, I can just say, hey, I want to see what's going on at the gate. And as soon as I hit that widget, my live view pops right up. So I can add these. I can create solutions for maybe small businesses where I put an iPort or an iPad on the wall. And then when they want to see, hey, is anybody in the warehouse? They just reach over and hit the warehouse button, and then it pops up on the TV because you have it hooked up with an HDMI adapter. Going along with that, with our premium subscription and a lot of our cameras, you now have video descriptions. So instead of there is movement in the warehouse, it'll say a guy in a gray shirt and a green hat is moving boxes into a van. It'll say there's a raccoon or a black and white dog running through the warehouse. Mine says a black and white dog is sitting on a sofa in a room a lot because when I leave the house, it watches my dog. So being able to program and create those little solutions, we're capable of it now. We also will record 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 2 weeks with our premium plan and a hardwired device. So you can have continuous recording and depending on the device you're watching it on, continuous live view. So in those instances where it's a small business and you want to be able to go and do some paperwork in the back, but you can't leave the shop uncovered, great. Put a 24-hour camera out there, have it popped up in continuous live view, and when your guest walks in, your client walks in, walk out and greet them. So it can even be a labor solution. So with 24/7, with continuous recording. And by the way, the 24/7, it's 2 full weeks of 14 days of recording. And on the 15th day, it's going to dump all the extra and leave whatever was programmed in as motion events. So if you have motion alerts and that's what triggers recordings, it'll have everything for 2 weeks. And on the 15th day, it's going to go, you told me you didn't care about all this, right? It's like What was that game? Heads Up or whatever it is, where you're trying to figure out who the person has on their board. This one you can knock a whole lot down. Going into our doorbell lineup, this is currently our full doorbell lineup, and there are some changes to these. So please, if you haven't been listening, please tune in now. Across the top, we have our wired doorbells ending with the Video Doorbell Elite. I'm sure you guys have realized now that Elite in ring terms means PoE. That will not be the future. In the future, we're just going to call things PoE to make it nice and easy. But if you do see a product with the name Elite on it, it has a Ethernet jack right on it that can do network and power. On the bottom, we see our battery devices. So we see our battery doorbell plus and pro, and then the peephole cam. And if you've probably noticed, now we have a basic battery, basic wired, plus in both and a pro in both. So I know the naming convention has been kind of crazy for the past 2 years, where the Pro 2 became the Pro and the Pro became the Plus. We're now working our way out of that, and we're going to get into a nice streamlined naming convention, I believe. The two biggest pieces of news on here are that the wired doorbell plus, so if you do a lot of business with builders, you probably do a lot of this doorbell. This doorbell is going away. Those builders are shifting into the battery doorbell plus. Same contractor mode. The only difference is you get head-to-toe video, you get a removable trickle charge battery. It only requires up to a 5-volt transformer. Obviously, we request more. We recommend more, but you can still trickle charge the battery and we can avoid some of those transformer issues. This will get replaced in the coming months. And the other one is if you buy the Video Doorbell Elite, that's going to be replaced this winter too. So if you like those, if you use those a lot, it might be a good time to stack up on those. The Wired Doorbell Plus is already pretty restricted. The Doorbell Elite, you could probably still get your hands on. There are more solutions to them, but I wanted to make sure that I was very clear that those two are on their way out. Yeah, there we go. With cameras, it's somewhat similar, right? Across the top, we have our Indoor Cam V2, which has a privacy shutter, which when you close, it goes doo-doo. And in the app, it shows no video or no audio is being recorded. The Indoor Cam Pan Tilt is next to it. This one is excellent if you have a client with a pet or a child who gets home from school before they are, because you can close those shutters for when they say, "Well, I'm not interested in being recorded in my own house." Okay, what about when you're not in the house? And then when you come home, just walk by it and close the shutter. But when you leave for work, open it up. Keep an eye on the dog. Keep an eye on the floor. Keep an eye on the crock pot. I don't know what you're looking at, but why not? The next one is the stick up cam. Now, this is another one that's going to be going away because it's been replaced by the Outdoor Cam Plus. So similar price point. It comes in plug-in, it comes in battery, it comes in hardwired, and it comes in PoE. Now it is technically PoE plus. The adapter comes in the box. There's an additional mount in the box. We're going to go into that camera in a few minutes, but this thing is awesome. On the bottom here, we have our lit cameras, right? And not saying it in the cool way that kids say it. I mean cameras with lights. They're also, I guess, lit by depending on the terms that you would want to use. But what we have is we have our Spotlight Cam Plus, our Spotlight Cam Pro, and then our Floodlight Cam Plus and Floodlight Cam Pro. And if you're ever wondering what's really the difference? Well, when you're standing in the driveway, the Pro has oblong LEDs, which do help create a wider array of light. So it's not, wow, that's bright and it's dark right outside. It is much wider. They are you can spin them all the way around and mount them under eaves now. So the former version, you really had to put it on a stand-up wall. But now you can flip those around, turn the camera all the way upside down, put it under an eave, and go from there. There are also hardwired and plug-in adapters for all of these cameras. So the floodlight obviously comes hardwired, where there are the three wires coming right out the back, but there is a plug-in adapter. It's like 20 bucks. It's got a 22-foot outdoor rated uh, plug in for a receptacle. So if you are at a job and you don't have your electrician handy, or there's just the wires in there, somebody stapled them years ago and they closed that circuit for some reason. If there is a plug in the garage, you could tack that wire up and get it plugged in. Works great. Sheds where they have a couple of plugs where they may not have wiring and maybe you don't have the time that day. But let's get that device up and get that check. Let's get that system up and running before we leave so we don't have to come back. Same thing for the spotlight cams. I know I'm drawing over the screen right here. My suggestion with spotlight cams is always buy the battery version. Reason being is many of the accessories will, one, protect us from price matching because the accessory doesn't go on sale. But two, oftentimes with us, the accessory has more margin in it. So being able to say, instead of doing a spotlight cam wired, I'm going to do a spotlight cam battery with a hardwire kit. And I'm going to put two batteries in it. So now I have a hardwired spotlight cam outside that if the power goes out, has two batteries in the bottom. And now I get to lead my way into the conversation with my client about the importance of backup internet and backup Wi-Fi. Because what good is a battery backed up camera if it's not communicating to anything? So getting inside, and whether it's the Alarm Pro or another backup network that you guys use, being able to create that demand and then be the solution for it goes a long way. Speaking of that outdoor Cam Plus, this thing's awesome. It's shown here as it stands when you buy it as a battery device. So we can see that mount there. The mount can go on the back or the bottom. It does have a couple of elbows on it. Let's see if I have one behind me. I don't. But the mount is far superior to the stick-up Cam Elite if you're used to it. Has the same amount of elbows, but has a lot more functionality to it. And then this is what comes in the box for our PoE outdoor cam. So from left to right here, starting at the top, we have this mount that I have in my hand, which has a built-in USB-C cable, the ball joint with multiple locks on the front. Oh, you can't really see that. And then there is a snap-on wire cover, so no more exposed wiring on stick-up cam from Ring. To show you the difference in the mounts, this is the mount that comes with the PoE version. This is the mount that comes in the box standard. You end up with both when you buy the PoE version. And then you'll see there that it attaches to what we also give you is a 4-inch round box. Inside of it is our PoE to USB dongle. You see it fits nice in there, coming right out of the back. That locks on with a set screw, and now we have a fully exterior mounted 4-inch round box. This 4-inch round box will also fit over a single gang box. So if you have that single gang rectangle, you can fit this right over the top. Our dongle will fit right inside. One small caveat is keep an eye on the flexibility of your Ethernet cables because you will have to make a 90 or 130-degree turn inside of this 4-inch box to get the connection. So if you're using that real big thick stuff and the connections are usually there, peel off a little more of that rubber and let the terminals come out a little bit more free. It'll save you headaches later from that 90-degree or 180-degree turn there. You can see at the bottom over here, here's the removable USB cable and the removable Ethernet. So on the dongle, both are free. So if you have long USB cables, if you have a certain Ethernet cable you like to use, by all means, upgrade those wirings. I worked for AudioQuest for a long time, right? Solid conductors till I die. You know what I mean? Um, this is what it will look like when it's mounted directly to the wall without that 4-inch back box. So you could run that USB right through to the other side of the wall for an internal installation. And then you see the wire cover here that snaps right on. And we can see the back side of that wire that would go through the wall to the dongle there. Can be extended. It does do network. I believe it's 15.4. So it's technically PoE plus right on that line. But I'd love for you guys to take a look at it, give it a shot, see if you find anything you like with it. Oh, we got to delete those. The outdoor Cam Plus battery retails for 99, so you guys will get it for less than that. So we did not take the opportunity for a price hike here. The PoE version retails at 199, the same that the stick-up Cam Elite did. So um, I don't know how that decision got made, but I'm glad that they made it, and it feels pretty cool in 2025 to not go, it's just, charge more. Couple of the things that make our new devices even better. So these are features that will be in all of our new cameras and all of our new doorbells, starting with the Outdoor Cam Plus. The first one is we upgraded just about everything when it came to our components. So our lens is better, our engine is better, our Wi-Fi chips are better. So the result of that is not only a clearer image on the screen, but we're able to get a clear image in a wider field of view. So I'm not sure if I have the actual picture, but the difference between a stick-up Cam Elite and the Outdoor Cam Plus, when put side to side, sounds a little corny because we're about to talk about night vision, but it's night and day. The stick-up Cam Elite is still awesome. I've installed probably thousands of them. They all still work usually. But being able to, especially if you guys have a stick-up Cam Elite at the shop or on your house, let me see if we can get you a sample. Get one on the house. Let's see what we can do here because it's a really powerful demo to be able to call my prior clients back and go, that camera that's been great for you for 10 years with the same infrastructure I installed all those years ago, I can come and give you this upgrade. Here's an image showing it. And those are some things that I'll make sure that Davis has to pass on to you guys, which is the field of view and then the night vision and resolution differences A, B. And then, like I said, if you have a showroom or you'd like to create a demo, we see where I can help, see if we can help, but we should certainly get one up because it is very powerful. The new processing engine does a couple of things. One, it allows for that AI smart search to stop you from having to scroll through. I can say, hey, was anybody in a gray hoodie in my warehouse today? And it'll look and say, nobody with a gray hoodie. You're looking for somebody with a gray shirt, maybe? No, I think he had a hoodie on. Well, he said he had a hoodie on. So we can do those things. The AI smart descriptions. So we don't have to always be, well, what was moving in the yard? What do you mean there's a person in my living room? I thought it was just my dog. Those small changes, those small things where it was like, that's not a person. That's just a tree. A lot of that has been handled. Um, Here is that image of Ring 2K with low light sight on the top and then without it at the bottom. So this is a screenshot that obviously is for a presentation, but this is the demo that I'd love for you guys to have at your shop, on your phone, on your live system at your house to be able to say, these are both valid solutions for home protection and surveillance. Which one would you like? And if they want without low light sight, great. Let's get them hooked up. I would put some more lights out there, maybe that fixture behind them back here. Maybe if he doesn't want to do the low light sight, maybe this fixture can be a ring fixture, and then we can put another light up in this area and just have it be a linked device. But there's certainly a solution that will be catalyzed, if you will, by the conversation about the difference between full color dusk to dawn versus not. Well, clearly staged, but we get the point. They always find people who can't quite run. It's like the movies where they have football and the guy can never quite throw the football. Um, so we talked a little bit about this earlier. These are some changes to the app. Some of these are behind paywalls, some of them are not. Most of these ones are 24/7 recording. So on eligible cameras, typically hardwired cameras, typically pro installed cameras, right? You can record, like I said, all day, 24/7 for 14 days. On the 15th day, it's going to convert that full video into just the events that you have chosen to keep. So if you have motion events, if you have people only mode, it'll dump everything that wasn't a people only motion notification. 180 days of event history. On any of our subscriptions, you get 180 days. You can download it anytime there. On day 181, I don't have it anymore. We don't keep it. They're just gone. So this would be a good solution where people, nah, I like to keep it for longer than that. Maybe it's a business solution. Great. Go get them an Alarm Pro, get a memory card, stick that in the back, and until it fills up, they're all good. We just talked about smart video search. It did, you know, they weren't supposed to order pizza last night. Did anybody from Papa John's show up in a red shirt? Did the Pizza Hut folks come through? Multicam live view is awesome. If you haven't tried it, go over to your Alexa, ask the TV, Alexa, show me all my cameras. Go to the website, able to pull them up. But multicam live view, it stays up for quite a long time. You can set those different things. Hardwired devices work a lot better. Um, but yes, and then device modes. Now, this is something that most of the functionality is still behind a subscription. So even getting them a basic subscription is going to be important. But being able to maximize your programming by saying, how do you want the system to notify you of motion, people, and otherwise when you're home and the system is not armed? Excellent. Now, how would you like that to change when, say, you go to bed at night and the system is armed for home? Oh, I'd like less notifications, but m more reactions of the house. Great. And what about when the system is armed and you're not home? Honestly, that's when, I'd really like to keep people completely off the property and don't give them the opportunity. Great. So we're going to do three different sets of programming. And then this was always something that I did, which was, and then I'd like to invite you to live with these settings for 90 days. I went ahead and I added a little bit of extra programming labor that we're going to keep as like a gift card. Because if there's one thing I know, it's that how you think you're going to live with it and how you're actually going to live with it can be two very, very different things. And I want to make sure that if you call me, I'm able to just adjust it nice and quick without having to talk about how much time it's going to take or money needs to be swapped over. Head to toe video. This is now in our Plus and Pro doorbells outside of the Wired Plus. So the Wired Pro, the Doorbell Battery Plus, and the Battery Pro all have the expanded field of view where we can see from the previous generation where it would have cut off part of the package even all the way down to seeing the feet. So one, it helps because you can see more. You don't have to worry about anything hiding or a bobcat sitting in the corner or a snake or something. But it also really helps with package theft and package notifications. So having 66% more height in the video without sacrificing too much left to right gives us the ability to solve an upcoming problem because it's July 22nd. They just got all of their Prime Day deliveries and maybe they didn't get them all. But the holidays are coming fast and people are going to order more than they ever have. So, being able to just in passing, maybe you don't even really do a lot of ring, but you just go like, "Hey, I noticed you didn't have a ring doorbell. It's it's going to be that time of year. Kids are going back to school. They're coming home when you're at work. We're going to be ordering stuff, packages. Who picked it up? Was it my kid or was it the kid down the street? Let's just record it. I'll have it done by the end of the day." Here's another image of that, being able to say, this is something that would be great to have on the phone. Hey, I see you have a Ring doorbell there. Your current field of view looks like the dotted line. I'd love to swap it out for the one that goes head to toe and set up some of those packages, especially if you get to the house and there's a package on the porch and go, hey, I could put a doorbell in that would make sure it notified you that this was here so it's not creating the opportunity for someone to take it from you. As the battery doorbells go, this is my favorite doorbell, the Battery Doorbell Plus. And the reason why is because it has the widest uh, power options, again, going all the way down to 5 volts and up. It's 1536, so it's above 1080p, color night vision, head to toe video, and the most important thing, that removable battery. Not because it's removable, but because when I hardwire it and I put the battery in, I now have again that battery backed up solution that is just forcing us to say, hey, I have other solutions I need to present to you to maximize what you've already bought. Great choice on the battery backed up doorbell. Let's go inside and talk about how to make it work better. Here's another image of that battery going in. So it also gives an opportunity. Maybe you get, a USB charger, a couple of spare batteries, a couple hundred extra bucks in accessories, and you're providing the solution that doesn't involve a truck roll. Hey, I'm going to set you up to make sure you can quickly adapt to this and that you can call me if you need me. Don't always need to. Some of the features that are in Pro devices that are not available in Plus or Basic, 3D motion detection. If your client lives in a busy area, if their backyard is the way that the kids cut to go home, if there's a bus stop, if there's just a lot of foot traffic, if it's a business looking, 3D motion detection will make a huge difference for them. It's going to allow you to cry wolf less by saying, instead of just looking at it with one eye, I get to look at it with two eyes and see what's more of what's actually happening. That powers bird's eye view. And while I don't use it a ton, businesses love it. Being able to put a floodlight out back and just watch somebody just kind of hang around is pretty informative. Being able to see how long was the employee out back on their break? How long did it take them to take the trash out? Why did you go all the way over here for a couple minutes when the trash can's over here? It solves problems, but it's not for me to be used as much in like, I want to see exactly where the crook went when he was here last night. I want to know what people are doing on a general basis. Maybe I use it as a traffic calculator for a bar or a museum where they can have 24-hour and look and go, more people are spending time over here, and you can help them facilitate that. Bird's eye zones, that actually helps a lot. You can pull up a satellite map of their house and set those zones so that it's that again that third dimension of what am I looking at? It's not a flat rectangle on a flat image. It's a 3D stamp because now I have it from both forward and above. Audio Plus actually makes a big difference. If you guys have a showroom, it might even be worth having, a Floodlight Plus and a Floodlight Pro to be able to make an announcement through both and go like, which one do you want telling everyone you need help? The Pro will stand out on that. And then dual band connectivity, all the Pro devices have 2.4 or 5. If that's important to your business, please only sell the Pro. If it's not, like it wasn't that important to mine, I loved the Battery Doorbell Plus. Again, here's that low light sight side by side on a doorbell function. So this one is exclusive to the Battery Doorbell Pro. All of the other devices that are coming out will get it. But this and the Outdoor Cam Plus, so even stumbling into a house where you're like, man, they have a bunch of ring. They love it already. Damn. You go, huh? Actually, most of this stuff is black and white night vision. I'd like to talk to you guys about Ring's new low light sight and creating it battery backed up. Have you ever had a power outage? Has the IP ever gone out? Has your internet ever gone down? Has your router ever failed? And being able to get into more situations that way. If you do want to step up from the Plus to the Pro to get those features, they're both at $229.99. That's retail. Head to toe, 150 by 150, color night vision, that dual band, live view with Audio Plus, and then those 3D motion zones, like we said, with bird's eye view and bird's eye zones. They also have interchangeable faceplates if it's a more upscale home, or if they just like that kind of stuff. Moving on to, oh, we got a couple of questions in here. Are they assumed being replaced by a new PoE doorbell? Yes, that is what I have been told that we're not gonna be in a world where there's not one. Is there a dealer subscription plan they can do through us? No, but I hope to see you at Cedia. Um, so Ring and Kidde have partnered to create a line of smart smoke and smart combination alarms. So whether it's smoke and CO, smoke, CO, and heat, all those different things, you can get real-time alerts from those devices in the Ring app. So again, we're going back to especially if they're looking at, commercial properties, you're getting in on the builder level. If you can solve more problems for them being one team, one person, we're going to get to the point where you guys are doing more of that. Hey, can you also put in motorized shades? Hey, this one has a basement that would be great for like a family room theater. Hey, the pool needs some lights. Let's live in a world where people are constantly asking to fill your calendar with high margin things. Here are some of the sensors that we use for our alarm system. And I'm starting with the sensors first because I've always found better success selling the alarm in what do you need it to do instead of, hey, I have a really cool alarm system. It's not exactly the most exciting in the world, but being able to say, hey, I noticed that you have a sliding glass door in the basement and a lot of windows because it's walkout. I'd love to get a glass break sensor down here just because your master bedroom is so far from here that I don't think anything will ever happen, but you wouldn't want to find out in a different way. Hey, these panic buttons are great. I can position them around the house. Oh, you're looking to sell the house soon? Well, great. While you're listing your property, I'd love to have a temporary ring alarm system set up with a panic button so that if a realtor's at your house and just things don't seem right, they can make sure that they're calling the authorities and that nothing bad happens. The Smoke and CO listener. We already have the Kidda products in there, but maybe you already have hardwired devices all over the house or business. Putting another layer of notification in, ours is a listener. It's going to listen for that alarm and say, yo, the carbon monoxide detector's going off. I'm not the carbon monoxide detector, but I am telling you that it's going off. So, kind of the Paul Revere of alarm sensors. Flood and freeze sensor. This thing is awesome. Find it, especially if your clients have multiple properties. Maybe it's not right for this property, but maybe they have a fishing cabin up in Maine, or they have a cabin in the woods out in Pennsylvania, or just a second property down the shore that if they found out right now that it was filling with water because of a leak, how long would it take them to get there and shut that off? And how many dollars of damage would it do in the meantime? With a flood and freeze sensor, you can throw them under the sinks, you can throw them on the basement floor, you can even strap them right to pipes in the house. And then if there's freezing or flooding detected, you have the ability in the Ring app to shut off the water main through a device like a flow-by Moen. So you can go, oh no, my house is turning into a swimming pool. Boop. No, it's not. And now I'm going to go and solve the problem. But I'm not going to go and tread water in my living room. Then the outdoor contact sensors. These work great, one, for making sure things are closed, but also for triggering other events. Do you have a gate in your yard that is constantly swings open from the wind? Great. Put an outdoor contact sensor on it. And then when the gate swings open, a light goes on in the yard and a notification goes to your phone. So instead of going, oh, the dog was out and the gate's open. As soon as the gate opens, there's a series of notifications. The lights go on. Maybe we trigger something else through Alexa or in another integration. We have a retrofit alarm kit. So if you see wired contact sensors in the house, we can do it. So for our $300 a year, that's what our alarm subscription costs end users. You could also add this device for 60 or 80 bucks and get them from $500 or $600 a year to 300. And by the time you're walking out of the basement, you have saved them $300 a year. So go ahead and add $300 worth of solutions because you have basically found a gift card in their basement. We still do First Alert. We have Dome Sirens, Z-Wave Smart Locks from Yale, Schlage, Kwikset, uh, iLock, Level, all kinds. Very cool stuff. And then smart switches, GE, Leviton, Lutron. All these companies, we do integrate with them. So you want the lamp to turn on? Great. You don't want to put the Lutron lamp dimmer in and give them another app? Great. Go get one off of Amazon Business or another one from David, and let's move forward. In order to use those sensors, you're going to need a base station. So we have the Ring Alarm Pro, and then on the left here, we have just the V2. So the important difference between these two is listed here at the bottom. This device, the V2, is an alarm hub with Z-Wave. It's just going to do the alarm basics, got a little bit of battery backup to keep it functioning without power, but being able to add it to a network that's in bridge, leaf, or that's what we call it, but in access point or as the router, but it does not have to be the router. In fact, if it's an access point on Eero, it'll still channel Ring's backup network or yeah, backup LTE through the rest of the system and provide backup internet. Again, without having to be that router. So do a PoE 6 and PoE 7 Pro system, but then get there from the alarm and talking about advanced network security, and then expand their network. Same thing as this, the Echo Dot. If you didn't know, the most recent one does have an Eero extender in it. It's only a 10-100, so it's not gonna, power the whole house, but it will, you know, add enough Wi-Fi to the kids' room or to the office to keep it functional. Little bit of foundation building. These are some other things we do. So this kind of brings all together what we've talked about today, right? Obviously, the Ring doorbell, the best way we feel to get to and through the front door, so we can start doing the rest. Hey, putting a doorbell on the front's great. I have a series of locks that I'd love to, walk you through. Can I put one on the front door and any other main entrances? Maybe they use the garage more often. So getting that LiftMaster MyQ, getting a Genie with the Aladdin app, getting something from there in there, putting a flow by Moen on the water main that's in the garage or in the basement, the Ring alarm that's tying it all together, an Eero to extend it maybe out into the yard. Eero loves to say they bring all the toys to the yard. We are said toys. And then any of the Honeywell Home T series, we fully integrate with. So walking around, it's not just about what can I add that they don't have, but maybe you're just walking through the house and you go, "Oh, is that a Honeywell T6?" And they go, "I don't know." And you go, "I do. That thing's awesome." You know what I do a ton of? Which was the line I said most in living room. You know what I do a ton of? And they go, "What?" I go, "I actually tie that to the Ring app, because then you only have to have one. You don't have a thermostat app, a front door app, and all that other stuff. It just ties right in. It's so easy. It's cool." Huh? How much would that cost? Huh? I don't know. Let's figure it out together. A little more about smart lighting. It does work with Alexa. You can tell it to turn things on. The smart bridge right now is really hard to come by. We're building a new one. So what I'm showing here on the screen is that Echo Dot, the Ring Alarm Pro base station, and the Echo Show 10 all have the smart bridge built into it. So if you're walking through, you see an Echo Show 10, you see a new Echo Dot, you see an Alarm Pro, or you're adding Alarm Pro, it's a perfect segue into, I saw those lights you had along the driveway. Would you like me to tie those in so that when your doorbell sees motion, you can welcome your guests or deter your unwanted ones? Like, huh, that's an interesting way to go. Hey, I noticed the pool out back and the grill. Notice you have a lot of lights on the house. Have you ever thought about putting a layer of lights lower, maybe like a ring transformer or a smart plug, so that the lights are lighting upwards instead of interrogating downwards? I'm like, huh, that is a cool idea. What did you have in mind? Well, I always have in mind the path lights from Ring. I think they make a tremendous demo that ends up being, trenched stuff later. Uh, Before we get into the Q&A and stuff, I wanted to talk a little bit about linked devices. One of the primary, I don't want to call them complaints I get, but questions I get is like, the doorbell's just not fast enough. My mailman is like an Olympian. He is on and off the patio before the doorbell even sees him. Sometimes I catch the back of him. And I go, listen, if I ran by you that fast, you wouldn't see me either. I can only get my device to be triggered by what it sees. So in this example, the blue zone on the screen here represents what the doorbell would be able to see before it was obstructed by a tree, but it's not gonna start recording until you're in the blue. So if you want it to be recording before the blue, the answer usually isn't a better device. It's not get a Pro instead of a Plus. It's not swap out from Ring. It's get another device, right? So putting a spotlight cam, floodlight cam, or outdoor cam above the garage would give us access to the orange zone here. And then the orange zone can go, "Hey, I got movement. Hey, doorbell, pay attention." Right? For any of us gamers out there, this is what good team communication would look like in a game like Call of Duty or Halo. Hey, someone's coming. Look to the east, instead of just getting into a battle and not telling your friends. So when we look at this, linked devices is the best version of pre-roll. There's no better way to create that seamless experience. And then a couple of things that I've had a lot of success with that really, really, really generates referrals. And that's setting up routines and quick replies. So it can be as simple as, hey, when the contact sensor on the liquor cabinet is opened, the house is going to make an announcement that you better be 21. When the front door is open for more than 10 seconds without being closed, the house will announce, close the door, watch the cat, don't let the dog out. Even up to business solutions where you could set it up in a coffee shop where when they open the door, Alexa produces Welcome to Moe's. That was always the one that came to mind, the burrito place where they would all yell it at you as soon as you came in. It was terrifying, but it was also kind of awesome. The way that I'm seeing this used in the most interesting way is in showrooms, in listed properties, and in other businesses, helping folks set these up to give the proper answer to the questions that would be asked there. For example, you have a showroom, but it's only you in there today. And over by the TVs, you have an Echo Dot and it says, ask me about these TVs. And you say, Alexa, tell me about these TVs. And it's your words. You can program in to tell them about those TVs and buy you a few minutes without them ending up on Google or BestBuy.com or wherever they're going to go. Where I've seen it really function well is if you guys have ever bought a house before and you went with your buyer agent to a listed property, a lot of times they don't know that much about the property. They're reading the description notes, they're looking for stuff. Instead, could you be the catalyst where you're setting up things for that open house? You are that closing gift company, you are that referral of that realtor, and you go and say, let me load Alexa in, charge you a couple of bucks, let me load your answers in. So when that dummy agent takes in your a client into your property and they go, well, what's the community in the school district like? And go, Alexa, what's the community in the school district like? And if I'm the listing agent, I can write that response and I can be a better agent because of my relationship with a Ring Pro. That stuff works on all of these. I want to turn the lights on at 6 a.m. to get my ass out of bed so that I start working out. And if it doesn't work, in a month, I'm going to come back and I'm going to have you play Hearts on Fire at a slowly increasing volume while the lights come on. And then if not, I'm going to ask you to put some Mr. T screaming in there or something else to get me up. This one is very close to my heart. This is the Ring Pet Tag. It is not a tracker. It is just a digital lost pet flyer. So those 100,000 pets that we helped find, this is not only that, but it is the single greatest referral tool you will ever use. Keep a dozen of these in your pocket. Keep them in your tool bag. And when your client's dog or cat comes in the room or whatever other pet they may have, say, I see a lot of folks with pets and I always tell them the same thing. Please let me give you a digital lost pet flyer. It's from Ring. It just allows you to, God forbid Bailey gets out or my Solly, I hit lost pet mode and everyone within 5 miles gets a notification just like this one that says, hey, I'm lost. Here are some pictures of me. Here's a description. Here's how to get in touch with my owner. Doesn't have to give your phone number out. So if you have some premium clients, you can say Bailey is a dog that's out. You don't have to say Bailey is, Keanu Reeves' dog, and you better find him or he's going to come and find you. But it creates that warm, hey, before I take off, do you mind if I give you this free gift? I hate seeing the signs for lost pets all over the neighborhood. This is a great way to help keep them safe. Also, do you have any friends, family, or neighbors in the area that have pets that I can make safer at your referral? They will give you a piggyback ride to the neighbor's house. I promise you. Um, but that kind of brings us all the way to the Q&A. I wanted to make sure we left 15 minutes or so for it. So if you have questions, comments, chats, you want to scream at me, now is a great time. I'm also going to turn my air conditioner on because I'm starting to sweat. Um, let's see. I also got a question. Does the outdoor pan tilt accessory work on the outdoor Cam Plus? That is a great question. I have not tried it yet. I don't think it'll quite fit, but it is the same battery form factor. So I'll try. And if you beat me to it and you want to try, I'll happily make it up to you. Um, yeah, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put you guys should have my email address, but I'm gonna put my email address in the chat here. And if you have an idea for a demo, you have an area in your shop where you'd like to mount some things, let me see if I can find samples that will help you do more business by buying stuff at Davis. I say it that way because even if it's like I want a doorbell, but my goal was really to sell more TVs with on-wall installations. Cool. I'd love to be a part of it. I love the pet tag idea. Can you help me run a promotion in my area with a local pet? Sure, let's try to figure something out. I am open for requests. I'm not going to say yes to them all, but if you're like, I have this idea where if you could send me a couple of these, I think I can do tons of business and it's all going to happen with Davis. I will happily work to facilitate those things. Um, but I cannot recommend highly enough, even if you're thinking like, yeah, Ring's good, but it's kind of a good, it's like my good option. Great. I love that. Whatever option I am for you, I'm happy to be on the menu. I'm, like I said a couple times in this training, and I'll say for as long as I can, I believe that Ring is the best brand to help you get to and through more front doors to show off all of the solutions that you're capable of. I also believe that, the DIY world has shrunk a little bit. I also think that it hasn't just shrunk because of physical capability, where people haven't been exposed to some of the tools and some of these things and learning. I also think that there are so many options that we've actually gone past do it for me and that we've gotten into deal with it for me, DWIFM, which is that most people really just want permission or to make sure that they're not going to look silly, right? Hey, this is what I want. I want to, a lot of times raccoons get into the trash can and I just get nervous that one time it's going to be a bear. Great. I will create a solution. Let's set a budget and go. I'd love to be on that docket. So we got what, like 11 minutes left here. If you have any questions, you can even feel free to send them to me privately and I won't put you on blast. Um, but let me know. Is the X line going away? No, it's gone. Uh, so I had, last October, I believe we made the first announcement that it was going away. Um, but what I believe is I'm I don't think that that gap will be empty forever, but it will be very hard to find current Xline. And the reason is because everybody who bought an alarm base station basically cannibalized all of the benefit of Xline. So it was starting to put some pressure on you guys where it was like, if I accidentally sell the alarm or they tell me they want the alarm, now all of a sudden the Xline benefits kind of got like just roped in. So I'm hoping for a replacement. I don't know what it'll look like, but I ask very often about it. So yeah, I hope that answers that sufficiently. Um, let's see. Is there anything else you guys would want to talk about? Anything from your side, Davis, where you guys want to, anything that's been coming up?
I got a quick one for you, Tommy. Is there going to be some way where we can get some model number coherency a little bit, as we've recycled names Pro 2, Doorbell 3, there's been a lot of confusion, as we go through different generations, you know, is there a way to get a SKU number on a box that you can match to a SKU number on a website with an item description so we can ensure dealers and thus customers that they're getting what they actually wanted? Because that seems to be a barrier that we have a lot of times.
Yeah, so the good news is that should be over now. So like what's a two, what's a one, what's a 2020? We should be done with the random names. Like there's not going to be a Doorbell 2025. There's not going to be a Ring Pro Plus. So everything going forward should be in the naming convention of basic plus or pro. And that it shouldn't shift anymore. So it shouldn't be the pro eventually turns into a plus. It'll just be, I don't know what they're gonna do, but we have been assured that the sharing of names is over. if that helps. I don't know about the boxes. I do know some places will use UPC, but that's kind of a pain because it's 150 digits long. I don't know. I know that most of them should be pretty clear now because like if it's Outdoor Cam Plus, it'll say PoE instead of Elite, but it'll be Outdoor Cam Plus PoE, and then there'll be an Outdoor Cam Pro PoE. And then we'll see how it goes from there. I got one that says Indoor PoE 7 Wi-Fi coming. From Eero. Not, I would imagine so. Um, yeah, I would imagine so, but I don't have direct information on that. I have an Outdoor 7 right behind me on this back wall here, and it's awesome. Mine's just pointed out a window, and I get about 135 feet before there's even it drops half a bar, which is pretty cool. Other than that, that's all I got. If you guys are at Cedia, please come to the booth. I will have news that I can't share now, but I will share it at Cedia. There is also, if you're not going to Cedia, please email me quickly after Cedia and let's have some secret time. Because this is the Outdoor Cam Plus is great news, but it is only some of the news. So other things you've been hoping for are coming, and they're coming soonish. Uh, trying to dance as much as I can here. A few minutes left. Any last questions, requests, concerns, or wanting of ideas? All right. All right. Team, thank you back. I appreciate the hour. Sorry for rambling and being all over the place. But like I said, if I can help you facilitate or create more sales in any way, please reach out to me or Chris. We want to be here to help. And like like we always try to say is our goal isn't to get you to sell more ring. It's to double your business and bring ring along. So if we can help you double your business, we're confident that ring will come along for the ride. But we know that doubling your ring business doesn't necessarily change your life. So give us the opportunity. We're here to help. I appreciate you. And with that, I'll sign off here. But
Thanks, Tommy.
Jim,
Always good information. Thanks for being all over it. And guys, if you have any other questions later on you think of, let us know here at Davis too, and we'll do our best to get you a solution or an answer. Okay.
Yep. And then what I'll also send you is I'll send it to you so you can send it to the whole list. The new installation guide for the PoE camera is out finally. So it's not just here, figure it out, integrators. There's actually one. So I'll send that over PDF now.
Awesome. And we'll make sure and give it out to everybody.
Great.
Thanks, guys, for attending. Thanks, Tommy. And as always, have a great day, guys. Take care.
Anytime. See you, team.